Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? This is my question. I've got a new microphone and I'm just seeing if. Yes, it's working. Yay, it's working. Right, sorry. New microphone and I didn't quite have it all strapped in. Anyway, right. We're back. We're back. Welcome to Alice's TikTok Takeover. I am Alex. How are we all doing tonight? Oh, a little bit of drama there. Oh, God, now my wife's texting me. Okay, thank you. Right. Bit of a mad start, but we're here now. And yes, it is. It's a marathon. It's not a sprint. It's a marathon, not a sprint. And I've seen a couple of comments straight away. I saw Jerry has commented it won't be a sprint or a marathon if Loppy picks that team again like he did on Saturday. There isn't much bedding in time in the Premier League. That's what pre-season friendlies are for. Now, I actually can would agree with that. Now, I'm saying that it is a marathon. It's not a sprint. We do have to be a little bit patient. There is bedding in time, and these players have not had a huge amount of time to work together. And yeah, I was disappointed with the starting lineup against Aston Villa on Saturday. I wasn't expecting every single new signing to come in. I did think though that maybe we would have started Aaron Wan-Bissaka, maybe we would have started Todibo as well. I understood Antonio starting over Fulcrook or Fuller, as I like to call him, because that's what he likes to be called. And I understood Somerville coming off the bench, and we'll talk about that whole midfield dynamic and what position is best later on in the video. But yeah, no, I was frustrated, and when I saw that starting lineup, I have to agree. I looked at it and I thought, that's what Moyes would have done. No, I didn't want to see it. I didn't want to see it. But yeah, it happened. It happened. We lost the game. I feel like we did play better football. We had more possession. We were passing it more. But as I keep on saying, it is a marathon. It's not. We can't expect all these players to come in straight away and gel together. Although, if we did play them, they would have had a game to play alongside each other already. So that would have been a game that they would have had to gel already. So that was my argument. But look, it's one less game to do now. We've obviously got games in the League Cup because we've got one against Bournemouth coming up as well, where maybe these players can really have another game to really gel together. So yeah, there is some opportunities for us to really grow as a team and to gel. Now, if you look at the game on Saturday, I think there was other issues apart from the starting lineup. Thomas Socek starting, very frustrating. Gave away that early corner, and we were asleep at that first corner, which gave away that first goal. And I feel, I feel like we didn't really create a huge amount in our first half until after we had that penalty, which was soft. It was a soft penalty. Soft penalty. Pacatel put it away. And then we did kind of grow into the game a little bit. And yeah, then what happened in the second half. But yeah, no, it wasn't the best. Anyway, right, let's go through all these. Let's start through the comments. Let's have a look at them. Yeah, no sound, no sound. Oh, flawless! You've been in my comments on my page, haven't you? You're a fan of Lopetegui, aren't you? Um, please don't do that. He's had one game in charge, one competitive game in charge. I said I told you in my comment section of the day. Please give him a chance. Give him a chance. You don't know how he's going to do. You're dooming him before he's had a chance to work with this whole team and to see, if he can get them to gel. So just give him a little bit of a chance. I do believe that we've got that opportunity to do it. I really do. That if I was just as funny as him, I would accept that. But if you said I look, okay, I'm not happy about that. Right, who's running the Phoenix? Thank you very much. That's very kind of you. Right, I've gone through that. Yes, you can hear me back in the game. Yeah. Are you actually a West Ham fan? I have to ask, Flawless. Are you a West Ham United fan? I do have to ask because even for a West Ham fan, this is very, very negative. Very, very negative. Now I know you're not a West Ham fan. Yeah. Anyway, uh, oh God, I think I'd have to go past it. Does anyone think Duran will come to us now? No, I think that deal is well and truly dead. Maybe next summer, if he's not given sufficient game time. I mean, they have got a lot more football to play this season, Aston Villa, so they probably will get a little bit more game time, Duran. But that was typical, wasn't it? Yeah, I think we all knew that he was going to come on that pitch and score, which was very, very frustrating. Very frustrating indeed. Sure, 100%. We do need to give the new head coach time. We need to give him time. He had 5, 6 games in pre-season, and it did change a lot. And obviously, since the very first pre-season game and the last pre-season game, we've had a lot more signings come in. Um, he only really had one game with the majority of the signings, and he had no pre-season with all of the signings that we have had. So, yeah, it is going to take a little bit of time. And there's actually, I mean, Max Kilman and Nicholas Fulcook were both asked about this at the time, and they had some quotes to say. And I just want to read them out because they're both very true. So Kilman said, "We've got a lot of new signings and a new manager, so obviously we're going to go through a big transitional phase. This takes time, and we've only got a few weeks in pre-season. But as the weeks go on, I'm sure we'll build into a stronger and stronger team." Which is very true. They do need to learn to work together. They are going to get stronger the more they play alongside each other, and they'll have a better understanding of each other. So yeah, there is going to be a transitional period. There definitely is, and I think the key is now, and hopefully Lopetegui can make sure that that transitional period is as short as possible. Fuller also has something to say. We have things that we can improve, and that's a good approach. But of course, you must not forget that this is a bit of a project. That is a process that you have to build on, and that the whole thing, it can take a bit of time and patience until the team works. So both sensible words there, I feel like they're very sensible words from both players there, but they both understand that they do need to be working hard. And I feel like Kilman put in a really good performance. I remember the last time we were on here, a lot of people were we did predictions for the season. We said underperformer, and Kilman was up there as the most underperformer, but he was up there as one of the best players on the pitch. And I said it at the time. You got to wait until you've seen him in a competitive game. We've seen him in a competitive game now, and he impressed. He impressed Kilman did, and so did Kudus, of course. Yeah, the other signings didn't really get a huge amount of opportunity to show what they can do, but I thought Tobido looked solid when he came on. Somerville looked lively when he came on, and Fuller, he looked okay as well. Didn't really do anything wrong. So, you know, we'll see more of the new signings on Saturday against Crystal Palace. Not an easy place for us to go. We don't have a particularly good record there, but if we can try and shore up that defence, and we can stop leaking goals. And if we can come away from there without conceding 4 in 20 minutes this time, I will be very, very freaking grateful, because that was embarrassing last year. Absolutely embarrassing. Good evening. Uh, how the hell do you say that? I'm just saying good evening. Good evening. Alexander. Alexander, great name. I think a lot of people need to calm down. During pre-season, a lot of our key players weren't even involved, and for them to start playing like Lopetegui wants them to play will take them a couple of games. Calm. Yeah, 100%. I mean, Bowen didn't really join until the last pre-season game. Bakhtar didn't really join until the last pre-season game. Alvarez hasn't even come back from full injury yet. So, you know, there's a lot of players that have still got to come in, players that are going to be in the first team a lot. And yeah, they're going to have to get used to the way that they're playing. And I've said this in the past as well. A lot of these players are very used to playing one system under David Moyes. And yes, they're going to have to try and get themselves out of that set, you know, that frame of mind of playing that particular way. And it might, there might be times where they fall back into that, and that's something else that Lopetegui's got to worry about. That's something else he's got to work on. So we do have to have patience. We do. It might not click, and yes, we may lose against Crystal Palace at the weekend. Then we may lose against Manchester City, and we could go our first 3 games without getting any points. But that does not mean that we can't go on and have a really decent season. It does not at all. It does not mean that we can really have a push in the cups. It doesn't mean that we can't really push for those European places still, even though we could lose the first 3 games. It's very possible. But just got to give it time. Give it time and be patient. We can't expect all these new players to come in and everything to click straight away and for it all to work exactly how we want it to work. The key is, though, getting it to work eventually and getting it to work quickly and as quickly as possible. But it's 3 games too soon, especially when the 3rd game is Man City. Well, actually, no, that'll be the 4th game because you've got Bournemouth in between as well. And hopefully we can put in a performance and get a result there as well. Weird how he pointed at himself and then the ground after he scored. No, I think that was me staying here. Me staying here, as in talking to Aston Villa fans, I'm staying with you. I think that's what he was saying at that point. Brian can pay 40 million. 40 million for who? What have I missed? What have I missed? Right, one sec. Give me mark. Under 21s. Alright, here we go. Anyway. Sorry, I lost it there. Yeah, Durant has definitely scaled. YouTube user, not a marathon, but didn't expect Lopetegui to out Moyes. Yes, more possession, but did nothing with it. 1 shot in the first half, which was a penalty. Could have been 4-0 to Louvre for 45 minutes. Yeah, I mean, it could have been. And yeah, it was a frustrating first half. I wouldn't say it could have been 4-0. I think there was only kind of one other chance that I thought they really should have scored 100%, and that's when Bailey went round Abiola and it hit the post. And he really should have taken that chance. But I think, as I've already mentioned, I don't think he deliberately set out to play like Moyes. I mean, in this fixture last season, 30% possession we had when we drew 1-1 there last season, 51%. We made twice. In that game that we drew 1-1 with Aston Villa last season, I think we made 264 passes. In that game on Saturday, we made nearly 500 passes. We were moving the ball a lot more. And that is a process. It's going to take a little bit of time, but it's a positive sign that we are moving that ball around a little bit more, and we are trying to keep hold of possession, because yes, the more possession that you have, the more you can control the game. But as I say, these players are not necessarily used to playing that way under David Moyes. They weren't used to playing that way under David Moyes, so the majority of the time they haven't been playing that way. So it may be a little bit of time in between what we were getting and what eventually we're going to end up with. And I think what we end up with could be a lot better. That performance against Villa didn't provide much hope. He needs to play the correct players on Saturday. But what are the correct players? I mean, I feel like this is a really important question. Like, what are the correct players? First of all, I think the correct players is the back line. So Ariola in goal, then Emerson, Kilman, Tobido, and Aaron Wan-Bissaka. That is the back line I want to see, and I will be very frustrated if that is not the back line that we see. I was very frustrated when we didn't see it on Saturday, and I will be very frustrated if we do not see it again at the weekend. And then when we get into the midfield, and then that's where the questions kind of, they get a little bit more difficult. Alvarez won't be available for the weekend. He may be available to be in the squad, but he's not going to be available to start. So we probably will be starting Rodriguez, and we've got to start Rodriguez because we need a defensive midfielder. Souček cannot do that job. Prowse cannot do that job. So it needs to be him. It needs to be him. And the more he plays, the quicker, the more up to speed he will get. And I know a lot of people weren't particularly impressed with his performance against Villa. But one thing I found very, very noticeable is when we took Paquetá off and we brought James Ward-Prowse on, we started to struggle in that midfield. But we were still kind of nearly holding. We were keeping possession still, but it wasn't as good. But when Rodriguez went off, it completely fell apart. So I do feel like the job that he was doing was a little bit underappreciated. And looking at his stats, he didn't have a terrible game. He didn't give the ball away a lot. Something like an 86% pass completion rate, and he made a hell of a lot of passes. He made over 4 times the amount of passes that Souček made. Souček made 10 passes. Rodriguez made about 46. So yeah, he was passing the ball a lot more. I felt it wasn't the best performance I've ever seen, but I don't think it was a terrible performance from him at all. I really don't, and he will improve. So it's got to be Rodriguez there. And then who do you play? Who do you play in front? I do not want to see Souček in that side. I don't. As I say, 10 passes. 10. It's just not good enough for a midfielder, a central midfielder. 10 passes in 97 minutes. It's just not good enough. It just isn't. So, no, I want to see someone else. Do you put James Ward-Prowse in there? Do you put Paquetá in that position? And then move Kudus more into the middle and then put Somerville on the left? Is that something that we should do? I know a lot of people were worried about Paquetá giving the ball away in that midfield area a lot, and I get it. But if he can control that, if he can stop taking so many risks, which I suspect he may do if he is playing a little more deep, then that may be okay. That may work, but it may not. So it's got to be James Ward-Prowse, hasn't it? It's got to be James Ward-Prowse. It's either James Ward-Prowse or Souček. And then it's Paquetá in the 10, and then it's Kudus annoyingly on the left with Bowen on the right, and then hopefully Fuller will start because Antonio was shockingly bad at the weekend. So hopefully we see Fuller again. But what are your guys' thoughts? What are your guys' thoughts? What's your lineup? What do you think the right lineup is? And yeah, it's lip service Maximilian. What are you on about? We need to get in a young striker. Well, we've got an experienced striker. The strikers that we've got are the strikers we're going to keep now. We'll be looking for a younger striker next summer. But we've got in a new one, and his movement is good. I don't think Falkirk looked terrible. He was dropping deep a little bit. Ings looks okay, actually, when he came on as well, didn't he? Annoyingly, because he was getting involved. But no, the strikers we've got now are the strikers that we've got. We've got a lot of young, exciting, pacey players all around them. So, yeah, maybe having someone like Falkirk who isn't as pacey could work for us. Maybe. Jacobits, can't believe all the negativity. People must realise this isn't going to happen overnight. Yeah, no, I totally agree with you there, Jack. Exactly what I thought. It's a marathon, not a sprint. 37 games to go. Only disappointment was to put James Ward-Prowse and Souček in the middle. That never happens again. Yeah, I don't want to see them as a partnership again. I think it's either got to be Soucek or James Ward-Prowse, not Soucek and James Ward-Prowse. I just they don't work together. They don't work together. So no, that doesn't work. If we look at Brighton, new coach but the same system, that is now the norm for them. We have a new coach, a lot of new players, and system. It will take time. Yeah. The new manager who's coming to Brighton basically just picked up where De Zerbi left off. And those players were very used to playing in that system and playing that way anyway. And while they have brought in some new signings, they didn't necessarily throw them all in. And they played against an Everton side who were freaking useless, absolutely useless in their first game and this season. So are Brighton going to be able to keep it up? It's one game. You can't really tell how a team is going to do after the first games of the season. I mean, Aston Villa lost their first game of the season last season against Newcastle 5-1. You thought, that doesn't look good. They go and finish fourth. They go and finish fourth. Funny enough, they beat Newcastle, beat them, who finished fourth the season before. So, yeah, they got beaten by the team that finished fourth the season before, then finished fourth. We got beaten this season by the team that finished fourth last season. Are we going to finish fourth? That makes sense in my mind. It does. Won't get Jerome now. Any chance died when wasted 27 million on a complete waste of money. Oh, who did we buy for 27 million? Because we bought Fulkirk for about 20. 27 million is not what we paid for Fuller. We paid about 20. It's about 26 million euros, including kind of add-ons and stuff. So it's about 20 million pounds. And I don't think we wasted that. I think he's gonna surprise a few people. I really do believe that. Give the guy a chance. Give him to see where he is by Christmas. Yeah, I mean we've got to give him a chance. I mean, look, I think he will still be West Ham United manager next season unless we are literally sitting bottom of the league without any chance. We may be in for we could be in for a little bit of a relegation fight, but once he gets us out of it, I think he'll be given time because I think he's got a remit to deliver European football within 2 seasons. Now, if the first season is shocking, we may not give him the second season. But if it's not a disaster, I think he will be given time. He'll be given time. But I don't believe he's going to be a disaster. I really don't. I think 5 or 6 games. I think within 5 or 6 games, we will get a real idea of how we want to play and the system that we are trying to implement, and we'll be looking at it and we'll be seeing progress. And then after that, things will start to improve. Might happen quicker than that. It could happen this Saturday. It might not happen this Saturday. It's not going to happen against Man City. But then I didn't think we would have beaten Chelsea in our home last season or Brighton away last season, and we managed to do that. So yeah, strange things happen. We look a bit predictable though. Everything has to go through Paquetá. I don't think we look that predictable. We couldn't get any more predictable than we were under Moyes. That's 100% sure. Everybody needs to chill the fuck out. We're beginning to sound like self-entitled Spurs fans. Patience is a virtue in these times of instant gratification. 100% here. Yeah, no, you couldn't put it. I couldn't have put it better myself. Yeah, God, no, don't compare us to Spurs fans. Don't. That's terrible. I thought Kilman and Mavropanos did well considering the first goal was a training ground set and we fell for it. Yeah, no, we did. Antonio completely lost Onana. He was marking Onana and Onana just got away from him and it was just such an easy header for him. We were asleep. And their second goal could have probably been avoided if we started Aaron Wan-Bissaka in my eyes because I feel like it was very much down to Sofel there. Very much so. Down to Sofel. That second goal. Dale, can see us mid-season going on a really good run where we play super well, win a run of games that puts us in the top spots. Yeah, I'll be happy with that. I mean, we played the first 10 or so games where we're playing some good football. We win a couple of games, we lose a couple of games, and it looks a little bit uncertain. And then as the season goes on, as these other teams or who are in Europe are playing European games, and they start to rest, and maybe we can start taking advantage of that, where we get to play our game a little bit more, and then we get used to it, and then we really start to build on it, coming up to Christmas, after Christmas, into the new year, and then our performances improve. To be honest with you, we ain't got a clue what's going to happen this season, but that sounds nice. That sounds to be fair. To be fair, to be impatient people, if you honestly believe West Ham will qualify for Champions League, for instance, then 2 3 points after the Chelsea game is not going to be a lot. So, to be fair, to be impatient people, if you honestly believe West Ham will qualify for the Champions League, for instance, then 2 3 points after the Chelsea game is not going to be a lot. No, I think I got what you meant there. I think I got what you meant. Darren, you think we'll get somewhere against Palace? I think we'll see. I think we'll see a different team, and I think we'll see a slightly different performance. Yes, Aston Villa. They finished top four. West Ham did lose first 6 games, but still ended up third in 86. Another good point. It's not how you start; it's how you finish. Right? You could have you're running a marathon. Maybe you have a little bit of a dodgy first couple of miles, and then you sort yourself out, and then you start to pick up pace, and you start to close in on the leaders, and and then you end strongly. You end strongly. Yeah, the winners of the marathon are the ones that can keep consistency from the very beginning to the very end. But you'll have other people in the marathon who are going to start really brightly, go on right ahead, and then kind of run out of steam near the end. And then you'll have some that think they're going to start really quickly, then get tired, and then think, oh no, I need to catch up, and then make a little run, and then and they're just very inconsistent. So you got to judge the season, how you're going to progress in the season, right. And it would be great to be consistent throughout, but when we're in the position that we're in at the moment, where we've got a hell of a lot of new signings playing a completely new system, we've got to look at it as a marathon and just say, right, let's just take it slow. Let's try and work on getting things right. And then once we've got those things right, we improve on that, we get better, we start to progress. And then slowly, we get better and better and better. And then we start catching up with the leaders, the ones that are running away with it at the beginning, and some that have really gone for it. And then hopefully we finish a lot higher up here, up the other ends than we kind of expected. Hopefully that will be nice. Our trouble is we don't score enough goals and concede more than we score. I would not necessarily. I mean, for the most part, yeah, obviously, we conceded more than we scored on Saturday. And last season, we conceded more than we scored. Last season, though, we still managed to finish 9th, despite letting in more goals than the majority of the Premier League. Like 3 teams conceded more goals than us, and they're all the 3 that got relegated. They all finished in the bottom 3. We finished 9th, and that was because we were able to score goals. And a lot of the goals we conceded, we had a lot of heavy defeats. Like we had a couple of 6-0s, we had 5-2s, 5-1s, 4-1s. We conceded a lot of goals in individual games. But we were scoring a lot of goals as well, because if we didn't, we wouldn't have ended up 9th. So we're definitely capable of scoring goals. And I think I said this in a video I made the other day. Technically, if you look at that, if we're playing a more attacking style, and we're going for it a little more, and we've got a better defence, we should concede less and score more and finish higher. Logically, that makes sense in my mind. Will that be what actually happens? I don't know. Am I the only one who was very pleased with what I saw from Somerville, what he did in the small time on the pitch? Played with Kudus and Bowen. I feel it would be deadly. Yeah, I mean, when he came on, he was very lively. He wasn't afraid to take a run at the defenders, and did get doubled up on a couple of times, but held his own. He does look a little bit lightweight, but he's always been like that, and he's always been able to handle himself. So I'm really excited about Somerville. He is the player that excites me the most about from all the players that we've brought in. and hopefully we'll start to see what he can really offer when he's given a little bit more game time. I think he only had about 10, 15 minutes, didn't he, against Aston Villa, so he didn't have a huge amount of opportunity to show what he could do. But I think once he does, he's going to be a really good player for us. Really good player. Well, I hope we beat Crystal Palace because they are my local team, and also all my workmates from Palace fans that don't want them taking the piss. Well, that always. No one likes that, do they? I don't. I don't actually know. I haven't got any friends who are Palace fans, but then I'm not really from that side of London. All my friends are either West Ham, Tottenham, Arsenal, or Chelsea. Pretty much. A couple of Liverpool fans, randomly. One Manchester United fan. And strangely enough, none of them were born or live anywhere close to there. So, yeah, don't know any Palace fans. I had a Tottenham fan say to me the other day, "Why are you trying to grow a rivalry between us and Tottenham?" It's like, there is a rivalry between us and Tottenham. There always has been. Always will be. Very strange. You think Tammy Abraham will be the perfect striker going forward? Yeah, I can't see that happening. But apparently, we could be in for a surprise near the end of the window. We could be. West Ham are planning something. I don't know what it is. Could be a transfer. Could be something. So you never know. There could be something that we can that happens that we really don't expect or never saw coming. Possibly. I'll be very surprised if it does happen, but there is a possibility. Robbo, does AWB and Falkirk start next week? Hopefully. I would say yes to Aaron Wan-Bissaka. Falkirk, I'm not sure. I really hope so. We didn't bring in to be second fiddle to Antonio. We didn't. And Antonio can be so much more effective off the bench. He can be such a menace coming off that bench, especially against some tired defences. Yes, it was 500 passes that went nowhere productive, but it's, as I say, it's a marathon, not a sprint. So first off, we work on passing the ball. You know, we work on that, and then we work on passing the ball more forward and using those passes to create more chances. So it's a process. It's a process, and that was the first step. And then we'll take more steps, and we'll try and build on that, and build on it, and build on it. Things like that. But you know, these players not used to it. Not used to it. Averaged around 250 to 300 passes per game, and then suddenly these players are now doing nearly double that. So yeah, a lot of them are not very used to it at all. Very evident with the fact that Socek only made 10 of those passes, and Aviola made 23. How does a goalkeeper make more successful passes than the centre midfielder? That just makes no sense. No sense. And the other centre midfielders around him made 4 times the amount of passes that Socek did. I still can't believe that stat. It's just an absolutely ridiculous stat. Your name is something like Yuha Juha. I can't even go. I can't even go. Right. Actually, go. I reckon 4-2-3-1 with Paquetá in that deeper role going forward. 3 cams, Kudus, Bowen, and Somerville would be great, and maybe Tammy Abraham as first. Yeah, well, Tammy Abraham is not coming to West Ham. It's not going to happen. We haven't even made contact. He was a player that we're interested in, but unless we can move Danny Ings, unless we can get Danny Ings off the book, we're not going after another striker. If we could, then we might. But I can't see it happening. I really can't. I really can't. We got a new striker. We got to at least give that guy a chance. Whether you like him or you hate him or you didn't want him, it doesn't matter now. He's in. He's West Ham United player. Let's give him a chance. See what he can do. We've been surprised by players in the past, and we can be surprised by other players going forward. Play Kudus deep in Paquetá position with Paquetá further forward. No, yeah, again, I think that's a waste of Kudus' ability. I think that Kudus is a waste on that left-hand side, even though he was one of our better players, one of the best players on the pitch against Villa. I still think that he is wasted on that left-hand side. He's much better through the middle or on the right. Don't think he'll fit. He definitely doesn't suit playing that deeper role. Paquetá does a lot more than him. Definitely does. I think J-Lo and coaching team have a plan how they will plant in new players in. They are professionals after all, no to worry after one game. Yeah. I don't think anyone's worried. I'm not worried. Look, we need players who can play 90 minutes, not 60-minute merchants. But when we had players who could play 90 minutes against Moyes last year, everyone was complaining that we didn't make substitutions. I think all these players are very capable of playing 90 minutes. Very capable. I don't think there was a player on the pitch that wasn't capable, apart from maybe Antonio. I think everyone else does, and maybe Rodriguez, but that's probably lack of game time. Once he gets a little bit more game time, I think he's definitely got the stamina for it. Is Bowen the right man to be captain? Well, we discussed this, didn't we? I think last week. We discussed this last week. And he loves West Ham. That's clear. He understands West Ham. He understands the West Ham United fans. He gives everything on the pitch, wears his heart on the sleeve. He's got a lot of attributes of a captain. There's just some I'm not 100% sure that he does have. And obviously those are the ability to say what needs to be said sometimes. Is he too nice? Is he too nice to give a proper bollocking when someone needs a good bollocking? That's what I love about a captain. That's what I expect to see from a captain. Captain in the middle of the park, giving the players a right old good bollocking when they're not doing the job that they need to be doing. So sometimes these professional footballers can't mollycoddle them. You got to do it. You got to do it. Flawless, can you please stop saying us? You're not a West Ham fan. You don't want Fulker to start overvalued. Undervalued did subtle when he came on, signing him destroyed our chance of getting a decent striker. Maybe not. I don't think so. If Fulkirk doesn't score next week, people can start talking all this shit. I'll give the guy a chance. You expect him to score tons of goals in 2 games. He might not get one. He might not get one for 3 games and then might score 4 in 4 games and then go on a complete run there. Might take him a couple of games to get used to the play as well. Let's not hate on anyone until we've seen them perform in at least 3 or 4 games and then we can start judging these players. No one disrespected Moyes. Premier League doesn't give you 5 games to get it right. Premier League doesn't give you your first 3 or 4 6 and you struggle. Not necessarily. Not necessarily at all. It's not like that at all. And you've got to take these games to get it right. You've got to. It's not a choice. It's not a choice. If you're putting the pressure on these players to get everything right from the moment, it's just going to make things harder. And if you just expected everyone to just jump in there straight away and just to know exactly what they're doing, understand the players that they're playing with, understand all the movements that they make, the positions that they are going to be in, the runs that they're going to make, if you're expecting people who have never played alongside each other to be able to do that, the first time I play, it's just unrealistic. It's just unrealistic. So whether or not it's a good thing, it doesn't matter. Like, we're going to need a few games. We're going to need a few games, and we've got to give it time. Got to give it time. Then I see. I loved Vardy's message in that game. That was a great game last night, actually. It was a really entertaining game. And yeah, Vardy getting abused from the Tottenham fans, just pointing to the Premier League, just going 1-0. 1-0. Just going 1-0. 1-0. Yeah, taking the piss. Love it. Absolutely love it. Brighton have a new manager and one. What's your point? Brighton are not introducing a brand new system. We discussed this earlier. Which one? I've got a few in here today. Right. Do you just give me 1 second, guys? Just give me 1 second. Just. Just give me 1 second. I'll be right. Sorry about that, guys. Just had to sort something out. Family stuff. Anyway, right. Let's go back to the comments. Right. Can we stop being so negative in the comments today? These comments are a little bit depressing, and I'm trying to flick through past them all. Yeah, this is a point I want to bring up actually. Skamaka was 23. Haller was 20. It's hard to believe football would be a success when they failed. Hope I'm wrong. I totally get that point. I totally get that point. I think the difference when it comes to Fuller compared to those other strikers is the experience that he has. And I think what West Ham have done in this window is they have looked at the facts that we have tried to sign big strikers in the past, that it's failed. We've tried to sign young, unknown strikers in the past. It hasn't worked. We've tried to sign has-been strikers in the past. It hasn't worked. And now we're trying something a little bit different. We're picking up a striker who has had experience in big leagues, has scored goals, has done well, and is a similar kind of player to what has worked for us in the past. As in, I think he does have a lot of similarities to Antonio, but see, the way I described him was he's part Antonio, part kind of Harry Kane. I think he's got the finishing and the football brain of someone like Harry Kane, but he's got the menace and the strength and the movement of Antonio. And I think that just produces a better player. And this is not a long-term solution. This is not our striker for the next 4 or 5 years. This is our striker for 1, 2 years, 31. That is not old anymore. That is just not old. Every year we are seeing footballers last longer and longer and longer. We saw Jamie Vardy last night, 37 years old, scoring in the Premier League. And he'll be a regular again. Will he be able to play as long? No. Full Greg, a lot younger, still fit, good shape. And do you know what? Every single time I hear that guy speak, he's saying all the right things. Yeah, he's got to do it on the pitch, but you've got to give him time. You've got to give him time. You've got to see what he can do. And I feel like because he is so different from a lot of the other strikers that we have brought in the past, he could be different. And we could end up getting a different result from him. We could do. We could do. Ex-Hammer employer has said 10 years on that one their lesson is available for 25 years. Unless he said that in the last 25 minutes or however, or in the last hour or so, because I had a look at a while ago and last time I said that we'd never made contact with Tammy Abraham. So I'm not sure what's going on there. A couple of years, Kilman could be a great captain. He could be. Aguerd, Cornet possibly bringing 28 million combined, which would help us in the pursuit of a striker. It could do, but if we said Aguerd, we'll be looking to bring in another centre back. So some of that money would go towards a centre back. If we said a centre back, we'll be buying a centre back. If we said a midfielder, we'll be buying a midfielder. If we said a striker, well, then we will be buying a striker. I think that is just simply that is how it's going to work now. I don't believe Aguerd and Cornet will bring in 28 million. What I think will end up happening is Aguerd could bring in around 25 million, and then when we have to give Cornet away, we actually end up paying someone to take him, which will give us about 20 million. Because I think Cornet is going to be in a similar position to Zuma, where we can't get him off the books because he can't pass a medical. Crescencio won Championship Player of the Season this evening. That's good for him because he was brilliant last season. Abraham is broken. Oh, is he? Actually, technically, Lopetegui has won the same amount as Moyes. Technically speaking, if you're talking about domestic major tournaments, Lopetegui has won the Europa League, Moyes has won the Conference League. That's it. Really. I'm just saying. Jerry, my initial judgment on Lopetegui, I am not overconfident in his managing skills. He picks a poor side on Saturday and wonders why, comes unstuck and kicks a water bottle in anger. He's passionate. I liked his passion. I loved his passion. I was watching him on the sideline, and yeah, he does get. Don't know what happened there. Do apologise. Yeah, and I think he's very animated on the bench, and I think that passion will translate to the players. Look, I always had my misgivings about Lopetegui when he came in, but now he's here. I'm gonna give him a chance because I'm just not going to base my opinion on him before he became West Ham United manager, and just go for it. I've got to at least give the guy a chance because we could all be wrong. You could be wrong, Flawless. Can you at least admit that you could be wrong? And if you are wrong, are you? Is it within your capability to admit you're wrong? That is my question. Because I can sit here and say, then you can go check. You can go check on my YouTube page, which West Ham Network Extra. You can go check back and you can go scroll down. You'll see a video where I make a video and I say that I do not want Lopetegui as West Ham United manager. There is video evidence of me saying that. But now he's here. I'm going to give him a chance. And if he succeeds, I'll go, well, my initial misgivings were wrong. But if they're not, then I'm not. But we've got to give the guy a chance. We've got to give the guy a chance. It's frustrating, but it's only one game. Patience is required. Thank you. Haggis in a box with the on the Conference Cup and their team against the opposition. Was football was much shy, new direction, new projects, and I am excited. Yes, it is a new direction. It is a new project. I think everything that we've seen from West Ham United over the last few weeks is just very, very different to what we have seen from West Ham United over the last 20 odd years. We are showing ambition. We are backing the manager, and we are actually making signings that make sense. Now, a lot of people have compared this to the Pellegrini era when he came in, but you look back now, and a lot of those signings. I mean, it's great when you look back and you have hindsight. And yeah, we may have been a little bit excited by the signings of Felipe Anderson, and we brought in Jack Wilshere, which was a shocking decision. We brought in Diop, we brought in Balbena, we brought in Ryan Fredericks. We look back now and we go, yeah, they weren't particularly good signings. Yeah, some of them did okay for us for a little while, but then you look at the quality of those players, and they don't even compare to the quality that we're bringing in now. I think the only one that we can really look at and say, yeah, it would be Felipe Anderson. But I felt like he was played out of position quite a lot anyway. I just feel like the quality that we have seen come in this summer is some of the best quality players we have seen come in one window at West Ham United, and all these players very capable of playing together. They're all very experienced. A lot have experience in the Premier League already, and if they don't, they've got experience in big leagues. So they should be able to adapt. And once they do, and they play together, that is a very very strong team that has got a lot of depth to it. There's a lot of options and there's a lot of competition, which should also help as well. So there is a lot of positivity at the moment at the club. A lot. Even though we lost our first game. So what? So what? We lost our first game. The question, sometimes I do feel like we can't please anyone. Like some people just can't be pleased. They weren't all new players. They were playing exactly the same way as they were playing last season. And Everton was shit. And I do mean they were so bad. That was Brighton played really well, but Everton's defending and their marking was shocking. They were all over the place. So that plays a part. That plays a part. There's two teams that play games. One team can play really well, but if the other one doesn't respond and play well, because what you're saying that Brighton are going to be able to go and do that against every single team? No, they're not. They'll come up against a better team and they will struggle. So yeah, they just played a really crap Everton that day. Not taking anything away from Brighton, I thought they had a very good performance and they played very well. They got taken into consideration the opponents, and Everton were really poor. Yes, yeah, he does have to react quickly to what's in front of him. We made 5 changes. We never used to do that. Some positives as well. We took off players that weren't really performing, like Bowen wasn't performing, wasn't putting in a good performance, so they decided to take him off. So Dawson didn't cost 27 million. No, who did cost 27 million? Yeah, you're not saying anything that I did not say before he joined West Ham. You're not. I'm not seeing a single comment on here that is not something that may have crossed my mind. But he's here now and he's not going anywhere. And we've got to give the guy a chance. You know, everyone makes mistakes. Everyone has bad performance. I mean, look at Emery. Unai Emery, right? Absolutely terrible at Arsenal. That was just a bad appointment for him. It just didn't work. But he goes to Aston Villa and you see what he's doing there. Sometimes a manager just works with a team. He may not have worked for Real Madrid. It may have been a little bit beyond him. Some of those players may not have respected him. There could have been many other things, right? But you could come to a team like West Ham United and it could just work. They could be a match made in heaven, but we're not going to know just yet. We're not. I have seen Spurs fans be more positive about West Ham than you have been today. Spurs fans that are just generally not positive about West Ham. I've seen more compliments from Spurs fans in an insult to me about West Ham than I have seen positivity from you today. I have no idea. Pre-season means bugger all. First game didn't have hardly any of the first team players available. Second game, same. Third game, pretty much same, right? He hasn't had the full squad at his disposal, and he didn't until the Celta Vigo game. And that first half against Celta Vigo, I thought we were playing some really, really nice football. And then we made some changes in the second half, and then the football, it went a little bit downhill. But when he had a lot of the players that we had available, we were playing some really, really nice football. Now, did we play our best game against Aston Villa? No, we didn't. Did we play terribly? No. Did we play as bad as I have seen us play over the last few years? No. Nowhere close. Nowhere close to as bad as I've seen us play. So, pre-season means bugger all. It means bugger all. And this is the truth. Under 21s, under 22 losing the game in Seville, I think he did quite well. Yeah, no, he did. He spent 3 seasons there, didn't he? He got him into 2 top 4 finishes and 1 Europa League with him. So he did all right with Seville. And I think he was at Porto for a while as well. I think. Well, that's mature, isn't it? Very mature. We did beat Palace 3-0 in a pre-season behind doors game. We did. We had a very strong side out that one. Andrew, Lopetegui wasn't my first or second choice manager, but I'm fully behind him now. He's here. Madness, start judging him on the back. Already give him at least half a season before we can fully judge. Yes, you do. I mean, look, I'm in that same boat. He wasn't my first choice. He wasn't my second choice. And I think it would have been a struggle to be my third choice either. But he's the manager that we have now. He's the manager that we have. And we can't do anything about it. We can moan and we complain. And he ain't going anywhere. A lot of fans were moaning and complaining, trying to get rid of Moyes for the last 2 seasons. And it took them 2 years to get rid of him. So if you don't like Lopetegui, he ain't going anywhere because you don't like it. So you've got 1 or 2 choices. You can sit there and you could be negative and you could just sit there with the ump that we've got a manager that you don't like. Or you could decide to maybe give him a little bit of a chance, try and be a little bit more positive, and you might find yourself smiling occasionally as well. You could do. Recite yourself 50 times, including myself, stop feeding trolls. Yes, I know. But I can't help myself. And to be honest with you, I'm scrolling down and I'm trying not to find someone not being negative in these comments sometimes. Robbo, you're from Australia and have been following since you were 6. I don't mean any other irons and hope we all align people in this chat. No, the majority of us are quite happy and positive people. We are. Don't worry, no. Majority of West Ham fans. And I guarantee you that some of the negative people in here will probably not be as confident to be this negative and in real life sometimes. Let me argue with a flavour, please. I love that. No, he's not. God, tell me you haven't seen him play without telling me you haven't seen him play. Sully will always pick a safe, risk-averse appointment whenever Brian's home coach, Parky Van Takeover. But I mean, you've still got the issues right at the top. Is Lopetegui the safer option than some of the other options? Yeah, he probably is. But that doesn't mean that he's wrong. Doesn't mean that it doesn't work. Last appointment that he made that not many fans liked, including myself, we ended up with 3 consecutive seasons in Europe and a European trophy. So, do you know what? Sometimes you can get surprised, and maybe if we can get that with some better football, then it is an upgrade. It's an upgrade. Yeah, because I never wanted Moyes either. And yeah, he proved me wrong Yeah, eventually I didn't want him either at the end, but swings and roundabouts, swings and roundabouts. I get the feeling that we'll probably get the manager we want, and it would just be a complete disaster. So we got to put a little bit of faith in it occasionally. I think we are all keeping the faith, David. Well, the majority of us are. The majority of us are. Really? Oh, I've got to find that stat. And I've got to find at least two stats that back that stat up. You say, I say, stat attack. Do you know what? I'm going to look that stat up later because I can use that because I've got a few full quick haters in my TikTok comments as well. Tammy Abrams is Hawkins. Yeah, that is my problem with Tammy Abrams. He's pretty much a walking sick note. He does have a lot of injury issues. Jacqueline, I can't wait to see what Somerville does for us either. I think he's a winner. 3 injury prone strikers over 31 injury away from yet. Look, you say what you like about Danny Ings, but don't call him injury prone because I don't think he's been injured since he's been at West Ham. I think he might have had a little knock here or there. And Falkirk had injury problems about 3 or 4 seasons ago. And since then, his injury record has drastically improved. And that's one of the reasons why he's a bit of a late bloomer with people knowing him because he did have injury problems earlier on and then it's kind of burst into the scene a little bit late. Some players peak late. And their peak is short, but they peak late. They'll peak for like 3 or 4 seasons, and then they'll kind of go off. And I feel yeah, we can get that from Front. We could. I was impressed. You were impressed with Ings when he came on. Plenty of energy. Should give him a chance to play him 2 up top. I think we did. I think we did go with 2 up top at the end because we went to 3 at the back. We brought Rodriguez off, and then we put Todd Debo on the right with no, we took Mavropanos off, didn't we? Did we take Mavropanos off? No, we took Sofo off. We took Sofo off, didn't we? And we had Tobido in the middle, Mavropanos on the right, Kilman on the left. We had Kudus as left wing back. We were just so exposed down that left hand side. Down that left hand side then. Yeah, we had him as right wing back, and then we had some of it was left wing back. And then we had 2 up top with James Ward-Prowse and Sojek in the middle, and that's why we completely fell apart in the midfield. Do you know what? I've never wanted to be so wrong in my life. And this is me saying from a person who did not want Lopetegui. I've always wanted to be proven wrong, but now I really want to be proven wrong. Really do. How many years to stick with a diet, Moyes? I never knew a Moyes in who was so passionate, so passionate. Not guaranteed that. No comment. Oh, I can't. I'm trying. I'm trying to have a look through the comments. I'm trying to find some positive ones. I don't think Lopetegui was the right choice. Didn't want it. Wanted Fonseca. Don't want to tell you, but I never want Moyes back. No, I never want Moyes back. I wanted Fonseca. I thought that was the manager that we should have gone after. Fonseca was my choice. And yeah, I didn't want Lopetegui, but we got Lopetegui. I'm going to give him a chance. And I think he said a lot of right things. There's some things I've seen in pre-season which I haven't liked. There's some things I've seen which I have liked. And I think we've got to give him time. We've got to give him time. We've got to give him time. Oh, can we have any positive comments in here tonight? You're not writing Lop off, but subbing Bone off that early. Going switch to 5, can't get behind. It was a risky choice. I think he was trying to push more forward and try and get a goal. you know, he was trying something different, and no, it didn't work. I think we were already too. Right. I don't know what's going on. The camera just completely failed there. I think I'm going to go in a minute anyway because we're nearly away, but I wanted to. I didn't want to just go. My camera turned itself off, so I just turned it back on. I'm terrible at this. I didn't say to change his words. I said we made 5 changes. I didn't say. Did I say he was terrible? He wasn't successful. He wasn't successful. He just suits Aston Villa about. He suited the other teams he played with that he managed before Arsenal better than he managed Arsenal. That's the point I'm trying to make. Why are we being linked? Colin, you look angry. Why are we being linked to another winger in Jack Clark, even though he's very good player? I believe we're going to surprise everyone before the window shuts. Stardom will surprise us. I believe we're going to be surprised when the window shuts. Yeah, we don't need another winger. We definitely do not need another winger. I've not seen us linked with Jack Clark in this window. I've seen us linked with him in other windows, but his name hasn't actually appeared. Is that a new link? Is that something on Twitter? I don't know. But no, we don't need another one. We don't need another one. Ron Lopetegui had to play most of my squads. We were playing a Champions League side, not a team that will be in a relegation. Please give him a chance. Yeah, we will give him a chance. I want to give him a chance. I'm supporting giving him a chance. There's a lot in the comments who are not. We'll keep Antonio. Yeah. Did you not win the Europa League? He cannot be a bad manager anyway. I will give him at least 10 games to evaluate. Yeah, no, he did win the Europa League. He did, yeah. You got 2 glorious years. 2 glorious years with this manager, with an option of a third if he gets us into Europe. So, get used to it. You're going to have fun. If we get a good striker, I would let him go. He's regressing every time I see him. Is that Antonio? Yeah. Yes, Lopetegui was a poor. He spent the record amount they ever spent in a transfer window. Paul sacks him as one of Portugal's big 3. It was their worst finish in decades. Okay. Yeah, I remember actually reporting that at the time. No, he didn't have a particularly good time with Porto. Different team, different times, different signings. Could work out differently. God, give him time. God, give him time. Right. I can't keep on saying, gotta give the guy time. Do you know what? I thought all these arguments in the comments like this would have ended when David Moyes left. Because I remember these lives used to be me coming on here and me constantly arguing about David Moyes. And I thought, finally, no more arguments with David Moyes. And now I've come in here and I'm constantly arguing, trying to support the new manager who has only been in charge of 1 competitive game. And yes, there are things to be critical of him, but the amount of negativity is poor. Is It's not good. I'm got to be quite depressed in here tonight. You have, especially you, Flawless. You're not being very positive for me. I like positive people. YouTube user. We've seen we've had you before. You're not being particularly positive either. So when we're back next, if we beat Palace on Saturday, will you come into your comments and say that you will give Lopetegui a chance? Because you're expecting us to lose 5-0. So if we win and you're proven wrong, will you then come into our comments and say, do you know what? I will give him another couple of games. I'm not saying we're going to beat Palace. I actually think we're going to lose against Palace. I don't think we're going to lose 5-0. We didn't lose 5-0 last season. We had a much worse defence last season. But can we have a little bit? Can we have a little bit of positivity? You can never sack him. Never sack Russ. He'll be there until 90. Right. Okay. YouTube user, Flawless. Thank you for an entertaining night. I do appreciate it. All the comments, keeping everyone engaged, everyone angry. I was in a lot better mood before I started this live. And now I'm going to go off this live and go cheer myself up. So just been arguing all night. And I can't believe I'm arguing with people who are not willing to give someone a chance, a new manager a chance, and all because it was the manager that never won. We've just had 3 years of this with David Moyes. I don't want another 3 years of this. I'm back. Oh, I'm having a nightmare tonight. Right, now I am going to go now before my computer just completely decides to blow up. Um, I don't know. I appreciate the comments who are defending what I'm saying. Um, the comments where people are just being negative all the time is tireless. It really, really is tireless. Um, so yeah, hopefully, hopefully all these negative people get proved wrong in the next few weeks, and then we will have a lot more ammo to to uh, to defend Lopetegui when they're insisting on still kicking him down before he's even had a chance. So anyway, thank you very much to all the positive people in the live tonight. I appreciate you guys. Thank you very much. I will be live again on Thursday night over on the West Ham Network Extra channel. And I will be having a live chat with a Crystal Palace fan talking about the game on Thursday. So if we can have positive people coming to that, we're not going to be talking about managers. We're going to be talking about the game and the football, and we'll talk about Crystal Palace and his opinion on West Ham and my opinion on Palace and things like that. It's just a nice little chat. And I will be back next Tuesday for more Alex's TikTok takeover, and hopefully we'll have a positive result to talk about. And we've also got a game against Bournemouth in the cup next week as well. So yes, exciting times, and let's just all try and be a little bit more positive, can we? Please, I'd really appreciate it. Anyway, thank you very much for joining. See you again soon next week. Come on, you Irons. Come on.